Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the world you are. Hope you're doing amazing, and thanks for joining with another session with the Zero to Hero community with Microsoft Learn Learning Rooms. I'm so excited to be here again with Chime and Bobotunde with another session talking about Azure Data Engineering with Fabric and Power Platform, which sounds really an interesting topic. So I'm so excited to move forward with my slides and just kick off the session so we can start the session soon. So my next slide, as usual, as always, we have is about Microsoft Learn, the opportunities and the benefits you can get from it. So our slogan, as usual, make it your homepage. So making it your homepage will make you, every time you open your browser in your mobile or in your laptop, so you will see some updates from Microsoft Learn, so you can learn something new. We are all together on this path, talking, sharing, asking questions, answering questions, learning about Microsoft technologies, cloud technologies, and Microsoft AI services, especially Microsoft as leader in the market with AI services. So this is really important that you use every opportunity to learn more about these services on a daily basis. So make it your homepage, check out the customized training paths, check out learning rooms. Learning rooms are an amazing opportunity to get together with professionals, MVPs, RDs, Microsoft employees. So you're always in touch in the same channels with that specific technology category that you can ask any questions and learn on a daily basis. So looking forward to see you in learning rooms. With July calendars, we've already started on 2nd July, and now our second session on 4th of July, together with Chime and Babatunde. And this looks amazing calendar for this month as well, and I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot on July as well. So as the last slide I have here, it's about our code of conduct, and being aware of each other and being friendly and patient, welcoming and respectful during the session, and opening to all questions, viewpoints, understanding differences, and being kind and considerate to others. So thanks for joining. I'm gonna add Babatunde and Chime to the stage. Hello, good morning.
Hello, hi, good morning. Hi, everyone. This is Chimi.
Hi, everyone. This is Babatunde. I am it. Thanks for this section.
Amazing. Thanks for the time and joining. We're so excited to learn more about this interesting topic, which is really exciting and sounds amazing. So I'm gonna add your slides to the screen. Yes, here we are, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Amit, once again. Thank you, everyone, for watching this section. And it's amazing for me to come online today and share my experience with you with Microsoft Fabric. When it was announced last year, I jumped into it. I understand few stuff around Azure. We all know everything about Azure Synapse, and Azure Synapse, Microsoft have moved forward just to introduce another better way for us to make our analytics platform more consumable for all business users and for all business users. And that is why Microsoft have introduced Fabric. And now, what is the difference between Azure Synapse and Microsoft Fabric? Totally is the same thing. It's just that Fabric is the new function of Azure Synapse. Whatever functions or whatever reliabilities of data we are already currently using in Azure Synapse, now Microsoft now think back and say, you know what? This is how we need to manage our data. This is what we need to do going forward, so that one of the usefulness of this purpose of this advantage is, let me go to the next slide, is we all know what we can have with Azure Synapse. And now the benefit of Microsoft Fabric compared to Azure Synapse is for us whereby we can just have all our workstation in just one single environment rather than moving from one surface to another surface. And now, in order for us to go real quick into it, what are the benefits of Fabric? One, we can talk about one copying of data as a shortcut. and it only use one format whereby data scientists, data engineer, everybody are using different type of data or data formats in doing their analysis or their experiments. But with Fabric, everybody can have their data in different types of formats. But in Fabric, it only store it in just data format, and which is packet. And another thing is one user experience, access control, one governance, monitoring, and single licensing for score showing. Now let's move forward now to let's think about the previous scenario whereby we have some organization where they have different types of database, analytics platform, all scattered all over the world. And that is the solution why Fabric is in town. And today's agenda for us is just to talk about the benefit, the main component of Fabric, which is the data lake, the data warehouse, the notebook, and data flow, pipelines, semantic mode, and Power BI reports. I mean, that is what everybody loves the most, especially myself. Now, I'm going to come back to this slide, but I would like to let us move forward into within Fabric environment so I can show you some cool things around it. So as we can see, this is our Fabric environment. And for you to get started, it's all free. You can start with Fabric at free with no cost, just for you to have the experience. I'm going to share some useful resources on how you can get started with Fabric. And once you get started, the first thing you need to do, is come in here to your workstation, create a new workspace, give it a name, assign some capacity, domain, and mention the types of group of users you want. And the most important thing you want to do right now is I'm currently using a trial version, which is going to enable me to see all the full functions Microsoft Fabric have to offer us. And that is it for now on that one. Now I've already created a workspace for today's demonstration, and that is an hackathon workspace right here, and this is the environment. So let's think about it. Once you have a workspace and you want to start your analytics platform, what do you need to do? First and foremost, we need to get our data into Fabric, and we all know most of our data have been sitting in a data warehouse. And we have different types of data warehouse, but with Fabric also offers us a situation whereby we can bring in our data and just have a single source of truth, whereby we have our data within Fabric. And that is what we need to do first. We need our data warehouse. But before we get our data warehouse, what type of structure do we need to have in order for us to bring those data into data warehouse? For us to get data warehouse, we need to get data inside data warehouse that we need to be stored maybe weekly, maybe it could be a transactional database, it could be updated weekly, monthly, depending on how large or velocities those data are coming in. On this case, in my own case, what I use was I use a data flow gen 2 to get my data into the warehouse. And this is my data warehouse right here. Let's go into this warehouse right here. It's loading. Let that load finish. Then we proceed. Okay. Yeah. I woke up. Okay. This is an error message I've been dealing with this morning when I woke up, and I realized my Fabric computing capacity I've exhausted. Yeah, this is a free account. I have been using this account since last year, and I have so sad like I exhausted my capacity today. This might cause us not being able to show you some cool things I needed to show you that I have intention of demonstrating today. So because of this reason, I'll still be able to demonstrate the cool functions within Fabric and the analytics synapse. But let me cancel that. I won't be able to do that. But what are the main process when you want to get in your data? Remember this, once we have our data in the data lakehouse and in the data warehouse, now we need to, why are we using data warehouse? Is because we can access SQL endpoint with the data warehouse, our relational database. After that, and what the next thing I did on this project was being able to connect my data to a lakehouse, because which is a staging an environment for me, in order for me to be able to do some analysis or work with notebook within the Fabric environment. And what notebook is going to do for me is, inside the warehouse, I can't use a notebook. I cannot use a notebook in the warehouse. But for me to use the notebook, I need a pipeline to connect or to move or to copy my data from the warehouse into a lakehouse, from a data warehouse into a lakehouse. And once I have the data in the lakehouse, then now I can now introduce get my notebook and start using my Python, script, or SQL, Apache Spark SQL. And that is what I did here, is being able to use this copy data. Another thing I did, which I believe is very, very important, is when working, let's have a good naming convention so that you know what at each stage, you know what name or what each application or function or item or what each item is doing or what they are doing at that point in time. So this is the pipeline I use in copying the data from the warehouse into the lakehouse. Now, this is my data warehouse. This is the lakehouse. I use this pipeline to move the data from in here to here. Now, after that, I open a notebook. With my notebook being said, you can see I have different versions of notebook right here. It's all because each time I'm working, I'm the type of person who likes saving. I don't want to lose what I have worked on or the codes I have written. So I try as much as possible save. So every time you work in, please save. It's going to save us a lot of time and a lot of effort going forward. So this is my last notebook updated version. Right here, I have it right here. And this is the notebook. And the cool thing about the Fabric is you can use different languages. Like we have different options to write our code. I can use Python. If you are comfortable using Python, you can select Python. Or if you are comfortable, any language you are comfortable with. I mean, we have 4 options available for us at this moment. We have Python, we have Scala, we have SQL, and we have R. But on this case study, I only use 2, which is Spark SQL and Spark R. And let me go back to Spark SQL. Now I've switched my environment back to Spark SQL, and these are the SQL code I've written on working on this project. And this project was done about 3 months ago, I guess. Yes. But right now, I won't be able to run this code simply because my computing power have exhausted. If I hit run, it won't work. And not that it won't run, I'm going to get an error message. I mean, this is the last error message I got. Unable to connect to complete the action because your organization Fabric computing capacity have exhausted its limit. And what does that tell us is what we need to do. You can also get into this kind of error message in the future. And in order to avoid that, every time you are not using an object within Fabric, you need to pause and on. You need to pause your computing power. If not, it will just be reading on and it's going to cost you a lot of money, and you don't want to be that. You don't want to waste a lot of money for your organization every time when you are not working. But for me, because this is a trial version, I cannot pause. I have tried to come to the resources panel, but based on the type of account I'm using, you can see this is a Microsoft free account, and is like a Microsoft MS FT account. There's my access I have a limited access of what I can do. I can pay I can use a pay as you go option to even upgrade my capacity, or I cannot, because this is Microsoft under is under a different group. It's under a different domain and group, which Microsoft gave to me. It's a free account. And Admin is a tenant account that I use with my personal email. Then maybe I can come in here and come to the Azure portal and being able to pause and resume my resources whenever I'm not using it. But because this is the Fabric free version, I'm unable to do that. So the cool thing back to the notebook environment is the cool thing is after writing this code, I'm going to give you an access point on how you can get to this notebook and run it. Another cool thing about this notebook is after writing all my SQL query, and there was a point whereby I switched a statement to a R statement, and this is it right here. 1 minute. Yeah. Switching section to our programming language. Yeah, that is what Notebook can do for us in Fabric. You can just come back here. You don't have to open a new notebook, or we can just use the same notebook, just come to the interface, change the languages I want to use. You know what? That is the next section I'm about to run now. I want to write a different code, which is R programming. And that is now I start my R, I perform everything I do, just run those queries and create a scatter plot or a graph in with it, which means this is our normal fundamentals of data analysis, whereby you can write code, when you can perform analysis and create a visual with any type of data with Python or R programming language. And what Power BI have in better than the types of visualization we are going to get using R or Python is Power BI give us the flexibility of easy to use tools, more visualization power, and then within Power BI, you can still bring in those, we can still use R or Python within Power BI to just write some custom code or types of functions we want to have. But for this purpose and demonstration, this is the notebook, and I have something here I would like you all to come into. This is when I work 4 months ago. This is when I work on this project 4 months ago. You can connect with me on GitHub. You can download all these resources and read about the data set, where I got the data set from, and you can follow the steps by step, and you should be able to run. And this is the section where this is the pipeline section where I'm moving. This is the stage whereby I was moving the data from the warehouse into the lakehouse. And that is and this is the same script I was showing you now, the data analysis with R. And that is it with the notebook. And this is the Power BI report I created. I would have loved to show you this report in here. I have it here, but because of the computing power error I have received this morning, this report won't open. It's because I have exhausted the computing power. So learn from me. When you are not using your Fabric environment or an item in it, you want to pause it, so that is going to save you a whole lot of money, a whole lot of argument, and that is one thing you need to keep in mind. And another thing I would love to talk about now, since we are here within the Fabric environment, let's just talk about the admin center, what we can do within the admin center. Let's go to the Power BI admin center. Now, this is the admin part right here. Remember, one of the cool things we can do with Fabric is like a one-stop for all business opportunities. We can monitor what is going on. We can do data governance. How many reports do we have how many reports do we have in our Fabric tenants? Who is consuming those reports? Who needs to see those reports? we can come here and monitor those. We can come here and monitor those information. Come here, monitor workspace, admin monitoring. Admin monitoring. I have two admin monitoring reports here. These are in preview. I know this should open and build first. And one of the things we can see is we can see all our sensitive labels of what type of data we have, who is viewing what type of information. We can see our sensitive label, the endorsement, the domain, how many people are consuming our reports, who needs to see this report, what is going on, which the types of data you are working in with. So with that being said, that is the little thing I'm going to talk about within that environment. But yet, because I have exhausted the computing power in my capacity, I won't be able to show you the pipeline. It won't open if I try to open it. Let's say that. Let's say this. That is the pipeline, and while that is loading, what else can I show you here? I'm talking about the notebook. Okay, the data warehouse, a quick Power BI report, and this is one of the reports I created, reports on data in warehouse. You can create a report when your data is in the data warehouse, but the functionality, you won't be able to create a DAX statement or write a DAX query in it, but you can at least still do some few things and get a quick sense of what your data is telling you about. And remember, my keyword for today is get a good naming convention, ensure you save, and make sure when you are not using your Fabric environment or an item within your workspace, please, you want to stop it. Reason why I was unable to stop mine was because of the type of account I'm using. This is our admin center, and for you to be able to get in touch with this project that I worked on, you can please again connect with me on GitHub right here, and you can download these resources. You can see the reports. You can download all these resources and you can use this as a demo for yourself. And working on time, I would like to bring Chime on to say something about the Power Platforms environment. And also, if you have any question, I'm more than available to answer. And lastly, before I can round up that section, this is what I just showed you on GitHub, a screenshot from my GitHub account, and a screenshot from a GitHub account. These are Microsoft Learn resources that you can take a screenshot of if you want to learn about Fabric Notebook, end-to-end scenarios and scenario tutorial, Fabric Notebook, the event, the bug, and the most important thing is join the community. Joining the community, asking questions or seeing the type of question people are asking is going to elevate your understanding within Fabric or any type of problem you see or that gets worried into that you feel you need to know. Trust me, someone have already had that question. Someone else is also facing that kind of scenario. So get engaged within the community and should be good. Thank you for this chairman. You can come online and I'm still available to answer any other question.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Babatunde. That was a brilliant presentation. Yeah, I've definitely learned a bit about Fabric, yeah, and Azure Synapse today as well. So everyone, I would like to share my screen so you can be able to see my presentation. Can you see? Yes, you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, thank you. So my presentation today is all about Power Platform. I will say is an introduction session on Power Platform, or more like a deep dive into Microsoft Copilots with the Power Platform, ecosystem. Yeah. So we've all heard so much about Copilots and what Copilots is actually doing, on how Microsoft is investing quite a lot of money into AI and generative AI. So session is just to give you a deep dive into Microsoft Copilots when it comes to the Power Platform space. Okay. So let me just kick off by introducing myself. Yes, my name is Chimi. Can you see my screen? Yeah, you can see. My name is Chimi Okire. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP. I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. I've worked within Azure, I've worked in Dynamics, I've worked within Power Platform for quite some years now. And all this experience is in different sectors, like insurance and banking, healthcare, public government. I also do work for a Microsoft partner company in the UK as a solutions architect within the Microsoft Azure business application stack. Yeah, I've got all my details on the screen. I'm reachable via LinkedIn. You can send me an email, and we can connect on Twitter. Feel free to do that, or ask any questions that you might have after this session or any other time at all. Okay. So for the purpose of this session, I've got some agenda that I've set. So, what is an introduction? Introduction into, the Microsoft Power Platform. What is Copilot? We have different types of, Copilots. We have the Microsoft 365 Copilots, and we also have the Microsoft Low-Code Power Platform Copilots as well. What are the key benefits around these Copilots? And I will, time permitting, also look at some of the various portals within the Power Platform space where we can, build, our own custom Copilots as well. Yeah. Then there will be some time for any questions and answers. Yeah, like I said, if not on this session, always feel free to reach out to me and I will be able to answer your questions. So the next one is yes, yes, the whole world is changing. Yes, the generative AI space is changing. We have these co-pilots in Microsoft 365 that is making our work a lot easier. So organizations need to be able to transform and adapt very quickly. Yeah. So a lot of organizations have started investing, into their own digital foundation. They want to be able to kind of look at what happened during the pandemic, right? There was lots of disruption, and so organizations are more connected than ever than before. Yeah. So there's lots of pressure because of different disruptions that have happened in the past. The pace is continuously changing. Yeah. So this now has given us a lot of opportunity when it comes to technology. So technology has advanced. There's a lot more potential for meaningful impact. The opportunity is open to everyone to lead and transform this AI transformation, as I call it. So how are organizations going to come up and use or utilize the full potential of artificial intelligence, at the same time safeguarding their business, not just only their business, they also need to look into their data and also their employees. They also need to take care of them. All right. So there's a lot of talk saying AI is the future. Yes, AI and low code. A lot of organizations are also going into more of the low code space. Yeah. So there's a survey this year, according to Gartner, where it says the percentage of the world's data is going to be produced by generative AI. Yeah. So generative AI was started from 2001, for example, from 1%, as you can see on the slide, from 1% all the way from next year is going to appreciate till around, hover around 10%. Yeah. So a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, I would say 65% of our application development will now be leaning towards low code by next year. Yeah. There will be a lot of low code applications, as we've seen with Power Platform. So first things first is, what is actually Power Platform? So before I go into Copilot, I would like to say, what is Power Platform? Because a lot of people do ask this question, what is it? Yeah. So in case if you don't know, within this community sessions, the Microsoft Power Platform is just a one-stop solution where you can analyze your data. As you can see, what we should have done with Fabric and Synapse, that's analyzing data. With Power BI, yes. So within analyzing data within the Power Platform space, we use Power BI. We also build solutions, so build different applications. We use our Power Apps, whether it's a model-driven app or a Canvas app. And also when it comes to automating your business processes, we use Microsoft Power Automate, where all these things, different technologies are connected on a single platform. Yeah. So not just, Power Apps, you have your Power Automate, you have your Power BI, you have your Power Studio, Copilot Studio. Now you also have your Power Pages where you can also design and build your websites as well. Yeah. So all this combined just gives businesses a much more, empower businesses much more to improve and better their business processes and streamline their processes, basically. Okay, so that's what this gives us. So when we talk about now co-pilots, so just think about you're flying an airplane. There's an airplane, there's a pilot, there's a co-pilot, within that technology. That co-pilot will help the main pilot, to assist or to help them in navigating the airplane, right? So similarly, an AI co-pilot in technology just acts like your assistant, to a human being. Yeah. So whether you're a programmer, you're a business professional, you're a data analyst, a co-pilot is just to help you there. Yeah, it's just your assistance, assists you with complex tasks, enhances your decision making, improves your safety, adapts to different situations that you might want to use. So things like, doing repetitive tasks all the time, a co-pilot can also just take over those repetitive tasks as well. Okay. The next slide, as you will see, is the Microsoft Copilot. Like I mentioned earlier, Microsoft Copilots is a set of suites or collection of AI-driven assistant tools. These are being developed by Microsoft, constantly being enhanced to increase our user productivity and efficiency as well. Yeah, it just helps to make our work easier, basically. Yeah. So as you can see on that Microsoft Copilot's wheel on the screen, there's so many when it comes to data and AI, when it comes to modern work, when it comes to your operating systems or your business applications, they're all there. Yeah, they're there to help, to assist, to help to navigate for you to do your work better. Yeah. We also talk about Copilot for Microsoft 365. For example, with Copilot for M365, it's just a suite of M365 applications. We're all familiar with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. SharePoint, they're all there. So this Copilot has been infused into Microsoft 365 in order to help, generate tests, help to summarize our emails, generate or make our PowerPoints look better and things like that. Yeah, they're all there. Yeah, so we have that for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook as well. So that's the M365 Copilots. Yeah. Another quick question that people always ask: is it for free? Is it do you get to pay for that? Yes, Microsoft 365 is breaking barriers, but yeah, as you all know, it's not for free. Yeah. So the Microsoft 365 Copilots, you also need to have a license to pay for that. Okay. But we're not going to talk about too much about license in this session because that's another PhD degree if you want to talk about Microsoft licensing. Okay. So what does it do? Like I just mentioned, the M365 Copilot Word just helps you to compose, tailor your content, PowerPoint, create your presentations, Excel, just analyze your data, draw out all the meaningful trends that you might need. Outlook, you can just go in, summarize your inbox, read your emails, reply to your emails. We also have that in Teams as well. So for example, now you can also create meeting summaries and any actions in real time during your meetings using Copilot in Teams. Okay. So in all, there's also a survey that has been conducted by Copilot users for M365. There's a lot of productivity gains for using Microsoft 365 Copilots. Yeah, 70% of users have said yes, their work is more productive. 84% people have said, yeah, Copilot makes it easier for them to take action during meetings by using Copilots in Teams. And yeah, all those users are able to, you know, it helps them. It's helping people, and it will continue to help people, as we can see with the trends. Okay. What are the benefits of M365? Yes, Copilot, the benefits are there. Productivity, it unlocks it. You don't spend much time, hours trying to write this email and write this, or do this PowerPoint. It just, makes things easier for you. It saves your employees time from their research, from their writing. It ups their skills, it unleashes a lot of creativity, and there's a lot of integration as well. Okay. But let's just swing into the main point of today, which is the Copilot for low code. Yeah. So the Copilot for low code is all about Power Platform. Yeah. So within Power Platform, we also can curate our own Copilots using what we call the Microsoft Copilot Studio. Yeah. So with this, you can tailor or build your own Copilot experiences. And like I said, Microsoft has been making some significant investments in generative AI and enhanced integrations across Microsoft Copilot. Yeah. The first one that I would like to see, that I would like to tell you, that has been infused into the Power Platform space is with Power Apps. With Power Apps, you're now being able to introduce natural language development with Copilot. So, for example, I want to be able to build an app. I can just do that by simply describing in natural language what I want my app to do. Okay. So makers can now have complete control. So people work like, the citizen developers that work in organizations can just take over and just build their own applications, yeah, without involving any developers as well. I will show you what the maker portal, as we call it, looks like. So for everyone, I will just show you what the portal looks like. I mean, if I had enough time, I would have probably done more in-depth demo, but we'll see. Let's get there. So I will go ahead and share my screen, my other screen. So I've got my make.powerapps.com. So this is what we call the Power Apps studio. So within the studio, you can just, like I said, you can just use your natural language. Makers can come in here, build an app by just describing exactly what they want the app to do. How do you have access to the make.powerapps.com? So I'm using a Microsoft Developer Program account. So this is my own trial account. I can come in here and create my own different environments. I can create my applications. I can create my flows. I can create my Copilot studios by having a Microsoft Developer account. I have lots of resources that I'll be sharing at the end of this session, how you can be able to also get your own Microsoft Developer account. I'll also be sharing that, and also all the different exercises that we're going to go through, and how you'll be able to log into all these different portals that you'll be seeing. Okay, so the first things first is, okay, just a slight, demo on how we can curate an app. So by using a natural language. So I've got tables, yeah. So this is basically Dataverse. So within Power Platform, your SQL database, within Power Platform is called a Dataverse, and Dataverse is just that big container where you can or where everything that you've got. So your data, your tables, your data model, everything is all in Dataverse. Okay. So for example, if you go into data tables, you have your own custom tables. For example, things like, your account, your contacts, your opportunities, and, they're all there. Yeah. But you can also create custom tables. Yeah. So for example, if you want to build a data model, you can also create custom models and build those data from it. Okay. So I believe that I've created some, just because of time, I've created some tables, some custom tables. So in this scenario, I want to be able to use a Copilot to build a college visits application. So you can imagine where a college or university, where within the security you want to visit, or you come in and want to visit this college, but then they have to bring out an Excel sheet or a paper, take your name, your number, your card number, and your, yeah. Why not use an app to build something like that? Yeah. So we can create a Canvas app. So creating a Canvas app by connecting it to a table. So you can see I've got a campus somewhere, visit table somewhere here. So for example, if I go back into my homepage for my Power Apps Studio, I can just say, for example, what can I say? I want to describe, how I want somebody to come in and visit. Okay. So I can go ahead and say, just thinking it through, create an application that logs visits to a college campus. Yeah. Yeah. That's description. Yeah. That's your everyday words. That's how you would describe it. Okay. So I'll go ahead and say, create an application that logs visits to a college campus, right? So I'll put that into my description, and I go ahead and just click on that. So as you can see, I've got Copilot on the right-hand navigation pane. It's creating a table for my application, right? So it's create campus college visits. You can also edit, even if you don't like the name of that, you can go ahead and edit that. I can show you how you can do that later. But when you can't edit the table properties, you can change the name if that name doesn't suit. The Copilot to go ahead and curate things like, your visit ID, visitor's name. So it's already curated something for you. Okay. So on the describing what you want, using natural language again, I can go ahead and say, I want to add 2 columns. Can add 2 columns of timing and timeout. Okay. Add 2 columns. So I'll go ahead and just click that, and you can see that is, working on it. It's thinking it through, and it will tell you when the table has been updated. Just say the college campus visit table has been updated. So if I scroll to my right, I can now see that I also have a time in and time out here. Yeah. So if I have that, there might be some columns I don't need anymore. I might not need, I don't know, date fields, for example, because I've got time in, time out, and visit dates. I can just click there. I can just also tell my Copilot, can you remove the visit date? Sorry, the visit date column. Yeah. So hit enter, it will just go ahead, and also, as you can see, it will tell you the college visits table has been updated. You can see that has been moved. We don't have a visit date column anymore. Yeah. So it's just an idea. You create a table just by natural language description. You have created an app. Yeah. There's some modifications, obviously, you can make to it. On the left-hand navigation, it can also give you some suggestions. You can change a row, you can add a column, you can refresh the data, lots of things that you can do, right? But because of time, I'll just go ahead and just curate the app that I've just built. And you just go in the background and start curating the app for you. Okay. So the next screen, Yes, so he's creating it. So what you now see is a Power App Studio screen. Yes, this is it. It would take you to your welcome to Power App Studio screen. So like a welcome page. This is our Power App Studio. While the other portal, where the other makethepowerapps.com is the Power Platform portal. Okay. Yes, it's taking some time. Yes, you're welcome to the Power App Studio. You just keep on that. You can see a little bit of an app curation. Yeah, lots of changes. Also, obviously, like lots of things that you can also do within this Canvas app. Okay, but yes, we'll skip that. And yeah, that's just how easy that you can use Copilot to natural language within the Power Platform portal just to curate a college campus visits. You can click on that. You can also play the app or preview the app, what it look like. Obviously, you can change colors, you can add logo, add colors, and so many things, obviously, that you can do. Yeah. You actually list based on departments for that campus, who has visited. You can also make some edits, to what time, people visited, what type of visitor are they, lots of things that you can just do. I just did that under 5 minutes. Okay, isn't that amazing? That's what Copilot can do for us. Okay, so if I just go back onto my screen again, so I'm just worrying about the time. So yeah, that's using natural language with Power Apps. You can also do that. Yes, there's lots of there's controls that you can add based on what I've just shown you. Obviously, users can also be empowered to generate their own insights. So within the Power portal, or sorry, within the makethepowerapps.com portal, you can also refine your queries. You can also generate intelligent insights. There's analytics as well that you can also get from your Power Apps as well. Okay. So the next one is also what we call a Power Automate. So for example, we can also use natural language to do this. But what is a Power Automate? A Power Automate is also one of the components of a Power Platform, like I said earlier. So if you want to automate your business processes, right? So we use a Power Automate flow in order to do that. So we can use it repetitive tasks. If there's lots of them. Where can I even start? If it's a business, for example, a call center that receives lots of email attachments, you can also just use Power Automate flows. Those attachments can be sent to for example, OneDrive or to a SharePoint folder and arranged from there. So you can automate those kind of tasks. You don't have to go in, open up every email. You get 5,000 emails a day, open up all of them, download all the attachments, and move them manually into a SharePoint folder. No, you do not have to do that. All right. You can just automate those mundane tasks that every business takes every business time. Okay. So we can also use natural language to do that now. So if we also go quickly and show you that in the Power Automate portal. So if I can just bring up my screen for that, if I just go in there. So this is so I've already laid that out. So yeah, so this is make.powerautomate.com. So this is also one of the components, like I said, of Power Platform. This is the port and Power Automate Studio. Okay. So within this studio, yes, you can build out a flow automatically. There are lots of templates that you can use on. There's also lots of suggestions that you can use on, but just think about that business scenario, that business process that you would want to automate. Yeah. A very common one, like I said, we can just use the description, natural language. When a new item is curated in Dynamics, it can be in SharePoint, it can be in your OneDrive. Yeah, if you get the gist. But yeah, when in SharePoint is quite a common one that a lot of businesses use. So I can type today. Send me an email. Yeah, just notification. Yeah, notification. Yeah. You can also use it for a lot. Use it a lot for notifications. Yeah. For approvals. Yeah. When an item is created in Dynamics 365, for example, what happens when when it triggers? When what do you want it to do? What's the next action? Yeah. So now you can just use Copilot in Power Automate to do that. So I can just hit that description and click on generate. And it will just go in the background and build out that flow for me. It will suggest, is that okay? When an item is created in SharePoint, yes, you have a SharePoint connection in order to do that. And what is the next action? So the trigger is when an item is created in SharePoint, what happens? The action will be send an email, notify a manager, notify somebody that an item has been created in SharePoint. I'm happy with that. Just looking at that. If that's not what you're looking for, you can also refine it. Yeah. So it's AI, it's generative AI. You can also refine. But it's giving us just suggestion, and I'm happy with it. And I'll just click on next. Yeah. Next, as you can see, I've got connections. I need connections to SharePoint and my Office 365 Outlook, and I can just hit create flow. Yeah. There might be some invalid parameters that I'm seeing. What are those? That's probably because obviously, yeah, I need to have a SharePoint site address. But just because of time, we're not just going through that. But yeah, there might be one that I have already there as well. There might be an email. I don't have to. I can just send an email to myself and give it a subject, write the body of that email, and yeah, create that flow. Yeah. But I hope this gives you an idea. Like I said, yeah, we cannot finish doing this in half an hour. There are lots and lots and lots of exercises that I have, lab exercises that I'll also be sharing as a learning resource, where you can just go in, try this, get a developer account, just get hands-on and do it for yourself and see how far you can go. Okay. But yeah, this is the portal on how you can do these things as well. Yeah. So if I go back to my slide, I'm just running out of time. That's the next one. So the next one is about
while many conversations can now be automated with GPT, Power Virtual Agents users.
Sorry, but because of time limitation, I'm just going to play. I hope you can hear it. I'm just going to play this to a 1-minute video, so you can just understand, the power of, Microsoft Copilot Studio.
While many conversations can now be automated with GPT, Power Virtual Agents users will want to continue creating some topics manually. In these scenarios, authoring support.
No, sorry guys. I just said that video said Power Virtual Agents. Like it's been renamed. It's no longer called Power Virtual Agents. It's Microsoft Copilot Studio. Yeah, that video shouldn't really be there. Yeah, let's move on. I'll just do the talking myself. But what you can see on the screen is now that you can just curate your own Microsoft Copilot. So what it is an AI assistant. You can build out your topics, you can design and modify your bots just using natural language. Yeah. And just to quickly show you that as well, because of time, I will just go back on my screen and I'll just show you that. Okay. So if I just go back to home, so the Copilot.Microsoft Studio is also free. You can try that. It's on trial. Anyone can just go in, get a trial account and try out this. Yeah. So what this does is it allows you to also describe your own Copilot in order to create it. Yeah. So this is the power of Power Platform Copilots being infused into Microsoft Copilot Studio. So do you want to create your own bots? For example, there's so many use cases where you might want a bot that will tell you what the weather is in New York today, or where, those kind of scenarios. But the most useful one can be, for example, if you're working for the NHS, for example, you might want to look at, say, most of the FAQs on the NHS UK website. You might also want to, because remember, nobody really goes into this FAQs most of the time, but you can just create a bot, and curating that bot, a bot that can just look through all your FAQs and answers all your questions. I mean, that saves a lot of time. Saves a lot of efficiency for your contact staff as well, and it frees up a lot of time for your call handlers, for example, in a contact center. Okay, if you want to use that, for example, in a travel agent office, or you can also provide answers to common travel questions. If there's any related health or safety guidelines, you also provide that. But think about where at a given website, most websites will have a bot on the right hand side, so like a chat. Yeah, so come up a chat. How can we help you today? That's how Microsoft has evolved using Copilot Studio. Using this, we don't need a pro developer, a citizen dev, anyone, a business user can just come in and create their own bot and use it as part of the business processes as well. Yeah. So yeah, this is also another Copilot. So we also have Copilot in Power Pages. I don't have that up on my screen now, but we also have that for designing our websites. You don't have to be a pro dev anymore to design your websites. You can use Copilot just to tell Copilot in Power Pages how you want to design your website, what pages that you want for your website, what colors you want, what logos you want for that website, and it will just start designing that for you. Obviously, in all this, within the Microsoft components, there's also advanced Copilots. So there's also things like, for example, you can go into a library within the Copilot Studio and use what is already there, or add an item, or you can also use like plugins in order to do extra stuff within the Copilots as well. But I hope you found this session like really helpful. I know 30 minutes, it's never going to cut it to tell you about Copilot in Microsoft Power Platform Low Code, but I hope you do get something out of this. If you do have any questions, just come back to me, whether it's on LinkedIn or on email. I'm happy to answer your questions. And at the same time, I'll also be providing some additional learning resources on the Microsoft Zero to Hero community page on LinkedIn, or I can also just ask Hamad how we can get those learning resources across to you. But thank you very much. This has been a very wonderful session, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Amazing.
Hamad. Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Thanks much, Babatunde, and also Chime. And that was an exciting, and I was just sitting here and watching, learned a lot actually from this session. And as you mentioned, Chime, I guess we had maybe like less time for each topic and also the slides. So I'm sure also audience are also interested in having maybe the second episode. If you're also interested to that,
sure.
we can specifically focus on that topic and having a session about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to always come again.
Amazing. And Babatunde as well for you. So if you're also interested, we would love to support, host you for a second session, for the second episode. As,
Yeah, I am 100% to jump on the second section for an hour, just to talk about the Azure Synapse environment and the fabric, the benefit, the cool stuff around it, the best practice of what people need to do. I've been working within Fabric for about a year now. I learned to making a lot of mistakes because I don't know it. I'm a self learner and I follow a lot of resources. All those resources I would love to share it. Oh yes, it cannot be covered within 30 minutes, but thank God we tried our best. And thank you, Chem, for what you did.
Thank you, Babatunde. I learned a lot about definitely like going to look at those links, going to Synapse, going to Synapse. There's a lot to take away from there.
Chem, you've not shared your learning resources.
Sorry?
Chen, you've not shared your learning resources. I thought you have some learning resources.
No. I'll be sharing it. I'll be sharing it on the. I don't know. Hamid, is it on the chat? Is that best to share it there
On the
or
screen?
share it to you?
I will promote this session because as soon as we are going to end the stream, so the
Okay.
recordings will be available on YouTube. However, we also share the post on Learning Rooms on Microsoft Learn and also on other socials on LinkedIn. So if you share the links with me, so I can put it on with the post for the audience, so everyone can use it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll get to
While
do
many
that.
conversations can
And
now
we have a question. I will show it on the screen. You can see it now. Any licenses are required for M365 Copilot?
Sorry, I can see that. Yeah. So okay. Kafka, any license are required for M365 Copilot? Yes. You do require a license for the M365 Copilots. At the top of my head, I will not be able to tell you how much those are. But for the M365 Copilot for the mobile, it's $20 per user per month. But obviously, for you to get an enterprise M365 Copilot, that will also depend on the licenses that you have in your organization. But yes, I will come back. Definitely, licenses are required. Cost-wise, I will also come back to you around that as well.
Great. Okay, do we have any other questions? So if no more questions, then we will be just sharing the post afterwards together with the resources Chime is going to share with us. And also, Babatunde, if you also have any resources you want to mention in the post, you can just feel free to share with me, and we will put it in the post with socials.
No worries. I mean, fantastic.
Amazing. So thanks much for this great session. We really enjoyed it, and I think we don't have any more questions. So looking forward for the second episode of this session, and would be happy to host you guys again here.
No worries.
For sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and wish you a great day.
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Bye. Bye.
All right, bye.